Okay, let's look at how we are going to sketch a quadratic curve. Okay? Now this is important. When you're asked to sketch a quadratic curve, there are certain things that you need to do. Okay? And you have to do that three things actually. Okay? So that three things must be presented in your answers. Okay? So for instance, you are supposed to sketch this. Y equal to x squared minus 6x plus 5. So there will be three steps that you need to do. Okay? So the first one, you need to do a complete square. Alright? Okay? So what is the complete square of this?
X squared. I mean X.
So it would be x minus 3 square
Plus 5. How will you do? 2. No, actually plus 5. Plus 5.
minus 4, okay? Are you alright with that?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
How do you get 3?
6 divided by 2.
As half of negative 6, right? So that's why it's a negative 3. Okay? So subsequently what do? You square that negative 3 and then add whatever number that should give you a 5 there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So that's why that number must be a negative 4. Are we okay with that?
Yes.
Alright? So what is the significance of a complete square? So the significance of a complete square is actually to tell you whether it is going to be a minimum or a maximum point. So that means at this particular point, this is where the minimum happens or the maximum happens. So in this particular case, x squared minus 6x plus 5, is that going to be a minimum? How do you know?
Because it's an X squared.
Because the coefficient of x squared is 1, so that is positive, yeah? So what is the minimum point here? What is the minimum point?
3.
So the x coordinate will be 3. The y coordinates will be
Negative 5.
negative 4. So basically, you read from that complete square. Alright? How do you get 3?
Make X the.
So whatever in that bracket must produce a 0. Okay? So the value of x makes that bracket 0. So x minus 3 equal to 0. So what would the value of x be? So it has to be 3. Yeah? So how do you get the y? Since the bracket is 0, whatever number there behind, that gives you the y. Okay? Alright? So that's how we do it. Okay? Okay. So this is step 1. Step 2, you are going to find the roots. What is the meaning of roots? What's the meaning of roots? Roots. What is the meaning of roots? Roots means where the curve crosses the x-axis. Alright? So that particular point or points where the curve crosses the x-axis, that 1 or 2 points are called the roots. Since it is quadratic, that we say there will definitely be 2 of them because it's x squared. Okay? Now whether these 2 is the same or not, we will discuss later. Alright? So right now, we say that it is always a 2. Okay? So since you have 2 roots, how do you find 2 roots? When it crosses the x-axis, what does that mean? What does that mean? So what does that mean?
It means that the minimum is below means the negative y value.
No. When it crosses the x-axis, at that particular point that it crossed the x-axis, what does that mean? It means y must be 0. Okay? This, you're familiar how to do. So many ways you can do it. You can factorize it, you can use a formula, or you can even use a complete square to do. Because that's exactly the same as y. So you have x minus 3 bracket square minus 4 equal to 0. Which means x minus 3 equals to 2, or x minus 3 equals negative 2. Are we okay with this? Are you sure?
Yes. So root is where the curve hits the x-axis, right?
Where the curve meets the x-axis, yes. Okay? So in this sense, you have x must equals to 5 or x equals to 1. Okay? So the third one is when x equal to 0. Alright? So when x equal to 0, what are you trying to say? When x equal to 0, where it cross? When x equal to 0, when the curve cross the y-axis. So this is simple. When x equal to 0, y is? When x is 0, y is? You have x squared minus 6x plus 5. Okay? So these are the 3 pieces of information that you need to work out and present. Okay? Alright? Okay, so now you can sketch. Okay? Okay? So how do you... I hate this. So it must be 1 here, 5 here. This point is 3 and negative 4. This point is 5.